guidelines of the NHRC were first that in case of any encounter killing, an FIR has to be filed in the police station against the police party which has conducted the encounter killing. Secondly, it says that a magisterial inquiry has to be conducted in the case of any encounter killing. Thirdly, it says that till the time such a magisterial inquiry gives a clean chit to the police party, no merit promotion or award can be given to any of the members of the raiding party. Now, each of these was flouted with complete impunity. We were demanding that the NHRC guidelines be followed, but the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi said that he had been satisfied by the police reports and he did not deem it fit for the magisterial inquiry to be conducted. His position was that, oh, the police have told me that it was not a fake encounter, so I believe them. So, no magisterial inquiries required. At that time, we approached the NHRC, we pleaded with them that since your guidelines are being flouted, it is up to you to conduct your own independent inquiry if the magisterial inquiry is not being, green signaled. The NHRC refused to conduct its own inquiry, and then senior Supreme Court lawyer Prashant Bhushan approached the High Court for a judicial probe, following which the High Court ordered the NHRC to conduct an inquiry. Now, this was one of the most secret inquiries ever conducted by the NHRC. There was never any notification published on the NHRC website. No public notification was issued by it ever. In fact, we had met them earlier saying that we know that there are, because just a few days after the encounter killing, we had conducted a Jan Sunwai, a public hearing, just outside the house where the encounter had taken place, and we had invited the neighbors and the community people to come and participate and to talk about their account of what they had seen on 18 September. So we had communicated this to the NHRC chief, saying that there are people who would be willing to depose if you were to conduct an inquiry. There were family members of the boys who had been killed, who had sent in applications to NHRC wanting to depose. The NHRC never acknowledged even the receipt of these applications. It did not deem fit to hear anybody from either the community, from the neighborhood, from the families, and it relied solely on the testimonies of 4 very senior officers of Delhi police to come to its conclusions. Now, we were shocked when almost a year after the encounter had taken place, the NHRC announced that it had concluded its inquiry into the Batla House encounter, and that it had come to the conclusion on the these are precise words, on the basis of the evidence which has been placed before us, we conclude that this encounter was a genuine one. Now just see the evidence which has been placed before them. These are testimonies of 4 very senior people in the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Special Commissioner of Police, and so on. 4 very senior police officers of the Delhi police, the very police force, the very department which is being scrutinized and investigated by the commission. And the commission does not even bother to visit the site of the encounter. So now, prior to this, at least some members in the Congress had been arguing that judicial probe is needed. There were people like the current Minority Affairs Minister, Kapil Sibal, etc., who had been arguing that a judicial probe was required. But now, once the NHRC came out with its findings, everybody clutched onto it as a drowning man does to a piece of straw, saying that the NHRC has declared that it is a genuine encounter, and now let there be no further debate on it. It should be considered a closed chapter. Now, what was important was that the NHRC was the only institution which had access to the post-mortem reports of the people who had been killed. In fact, that had been one of her first demands, that the post-mortem reports of Atif, Sajid, and Inspector Sharma be made public. Because there were reports that at the time of ghusl, when they were doing the ritual bathing of the bodies of the boys, people had seen that there were wounds on the bodies of these 2 boys, and which had led to people to speculate that there could have been torture on them before they had been killed. Now, NHRC was the only organization, and in fact there have been several RTIs, which right to information appeals have been filed in various, the hospital where the bodies had been taken to the Delhi police, and each time the RTI appeals were turned down on the plea that they would hamper the investigation of the Delhi blast case. So they were never made public. Now, NHRC was the only organization which had access to these post-mortem reports. and they were extensively used by the NHRC. Inspector Sharma's